Oliver, we should start with the game, the kind of next yardstick game for Switch 2's technical capabilities, Star Wars Outlaws, which is an interesting one that we've been eagerly awaiting, simply because it's a current gen only game. It was, designed to run at, Xbox Series S minimum, and yet here it is running on Switch 2. Also curious to see that it's Ubisoft Red Links that were doing the port for that. I guess there's
trials?
The old trials. Yeah.
Whoa.
So yeah,
okay.
that was there was on the Nintendo YouTube channel. There's a secondary video which seems to be an interview with Red Links there. But the Direct itself, actual gameplay, a lot more of it than we've seen before, and you can kind of understand how it works now. But nonetheless, there are some impressive bits in it.
There are absolutely some impressive bits, in particular, certain moments where you really do get a sense of that really nice GI presentation, those reflections. But I would say overall, there are a lot of cutbacks here in different kind of areas of the presentation that you can see pretty clearly, even without like a side-by-side comparison. Draw distance and just detail in general is pared back. Like when the camera reveals the environment at the beginning of the trailer, it looks fine, but Outlaws is really foliage-rich in other platforms, and I'm not really seeing that here. I'm seeing some scattered bushes and things like that, but not necessarily that kind of full suite of foliage across the frame like I might expect in an area like this. Shadow resolution is also very low. That's particularly noticeable in the cutscene sequences where you see those kinds of blocky outlines that look very aliased and not great. Again, Outlaws did not have great shadow resolution at the best of times on other platforms, but that's been reduced somewhat here. Image quality also doesn't look amazing, but it's kind of hard to tell because most of the footage that we have here only comes from a live stream rip because Ubisoft did not publish this trailer separately as a published video on, let's say, their own YouTube channel, which is weird. It's also the second time it's happened with this game. They also did not publish the very first Nintendo Switch 2 trailer for this game either, which is a little bit odd. So I think there's probably still RTGI in the mix, but it does look very messy, I would say. Like you can see that when the ship leaves the hangar in this kind of second shot, there's a ton of noise when the vehicle kind of disoccludes that environmental panel, which I presume is like all screen space traces that are needing to get refactored there. The other problem, very significant visual problem that I noticed that immediately stuck out to me is the game is running at a relatively low frame rate in the cutscene sequences. I counted out one cutscene and it was counting out at like 25 FPS, so I presume it's just a little bit heavy there for this game. The source asset for this file appears to be a 60 hertz asset, and when I was going through the frames, there are definitely some delays between those updates that were not ideal there. So I'm hoping for a good outcome here, but everything I've seen so far has been not that positive. I mean, it still looks like Star Wars Outlaws. That's a critical thing. It still looks like it. It's still, very recognizable as Star Wars Outlaws. There's some impressive stuff going on here. For sure, translating a game on consoles that has like 2 ray traced effects turned on at all times, trying to translate to Switch in a visually kind of cromulent way. It's a tough challenge. But maybe this is just a bit too much to port, especially at like this early stage in Switch 2's life cycle. We're going to have to see on this one. But so far, I'm not really seeing like that kind of super polished experience, but people might be looking forward to this title on the Switch too.
Yeah, John, what do you think about Outlaws there?
Oh man, I feel like we're right back in that same place that the Switch kind of was with third party.
I know what you're going to say. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Where it always feels
area.
Yeah, where it's like the Switch 2 is significantly more powerful, but it's still trying to run games way above its spec. And we're getting a lot of the same results and just like low res assets in there, major cutbacks, reduced image quality, everything like is very obviously cut way back from the other versions in a way that like makes it just look like not great. And I know we're in a tricky position because for third-party games like this, like these are designed for multiple platforms, and this is just the way things are. But like when you think about Switch 2, it's like, well, more like PS4 class visuals, but running with good image quality and frame rate is kind of like what I think is more suitable for Switch 2, right? Rather than trying to do these things that are clearly above what it's capable of. And we're just seeing the results here. I assume this will look pretty good in portable mode, hopefully. But yeah, man, like I mean, obviously my perspective's a little shifted. I haven't actually played the console versions of the original Outlaws. I played it on a high spec PC,
Yeah.
and it's gorgeous there, like absolutely amazing. But you look at this and it's just like, oof. But
Yeah.
people enjoyed Cyberpunk on the Switch too. And it was interesting to see, and I suppose this just opens up the audience further for this game as well. And I think Star Wars Outlaws is criminally underrated. I'm still in awe of the Eurogame review. Like, I was just like, what are they even doing here? It's just, I'm genuinely unsure as to why the reception was the way it was, because this is a game that tried to fix a lot of the open world like bloat problems, and it made something that was far more streamlined and interesting and organic to explore, and didn't like pound the player with like a million arrow marks and saying, go here, do all these little stupid things. It was far more interesting than that. So it's a very cool game. And I hope that it actually still finds some success here on Switch.